Hey, sorry it's dark out, but sometimes I don't have the time to shoot during the day. Big KRIT, Returnof4eva. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Eh? Big KRIT is a Mississippi rapper, Meridian, Mississippi rapper, and this is his latest mixtape-free album thing. And he's been getting a lot of attention on the blogosphere and also from XXL, who made him a freshman of 2011 just because of his last LP. KRIT was here. Even though this guy's been getting attention from Island and Def Jam, he's still functioning in the medium that got him where he is today, and that's the free album, that's the free mixtape on Returnof4eva. And this thing breaks a lot of the stereotypes people have with Southern rap, that it's just club music, that it's not lyrical, that the rappers rap too slow, that it's filled with pointless violence that's just thrown in there for shock value. Between the 20 tracks on this LP, KRIT has a lot to say on a lot of subjects. I knew I was listening to something special, something interesting, when the introduction track kind of features KRIT holding this meeting of people where he's going to talk about his music, his art, Returnof4eva, just the movement he's trying to create, I guess. And all of a sudden he just breaks into a rap about the adrenaline rush, being on stage, being in front of a crowd of people, set against just rising keyboards and swelling horns. And as the song gets more and more epic, it's just suddenly interrupted by an alarm clock, and he's waking up. And his roommate or friend or whatever is banging on the door and the wall, screaming, "Turn that off! Turn that!" So even though KRIT feels like he's gotten this amount of popularity, he still sees that he's kind of got far to go. These tracks highlight not only his personal struggle with his work, but also his fight to stay true to what he feels he is, to what he feels good music is, while getting more popular instead of trying to give into the pitfalls of image and chains and money and just using all this flash to get people listening. And that elevated conscious kind of bleeds into the other tracks on this album, like a track that kind of puts in a painting the dog-eat-dog world of growing up poor, lions and lambs. So Big KRIT does bring a pretty serious flavor to much of this LP, which does break a stereotype with Southern rap albums. But the thing is, it's still a Southern rap album. It's high energy at a lot of points. And there are some party songs on here about girls, about cars, relationships. And people like consistency. I don't blame them. I like consistency too. But don't freak out and lump the guy into a pile with all these other rappers you hate just because he makes a song about a car. What you say is important, yeah, but how you say it is important too. Whether KRIT is going out for a ride or disturbing the peace with his subwoofers, he's more lyrical than most rappers are who are talking about that stuff. In Rotation, he kind of talks about how his car is like this personal getaway place for him. And on Time Machine, he talks about how a car can be kind of like a nostalgic place for him, where he remembers listening to Scarface on the tape deck, being with his father, and wearing a starter jacket. I mean, overall, KRIT is really great at pulling songs together, and he raps really well. He keeps his flow kind of simple on the more party-oriented tracks, but when he's really trying to put meaning into a song, he'll change it up. Now, the production on here, KRIT produced this thing himself, which to me makes him a goddamn double threat. The beats on here are fantastic. Not really the vinyl crackle soul samples that I love hearing from Madlib and guys like that. It's more like smooth funk and soul, a very clean sound. And on a lot of tracks, though I have complained about this before on other rap albums, there are R&B vocals here. Yeah, but they're not the really clean, gussied up, pretty up R&B vocals that you'll hear on your local commercial rap station. These are the really in-your-face, eccentric R&B vocals that Outkast used to have on their best stuff. And having mentioned Outkast, there's some pretty big Outkast references on this LP. Eva? So as far as the beats go, there are some lifted things on this LP, whether they be vocal samples or horn hits or piano parts, something like that. But KRIT adds a lot of synthesized instrumentation to the mix too. And he mixes it so well, it's kind of hard to tell where the original instrumentation starts and the samples end. And though I am a sucker for those boom bap drums, I'm not a big fan of drum machines. The beats on this thing sound great. I gotta give it up. And KRIT is really great at using his music to create moods too, like on Dreamin', which is like really stark, really bare, with a solemn vocal sample, a guitar, and very simple drums. And sometimes he goes really lush, like on Sookie Now. The album kind of ends on a quiet note, with KRIT wondering if he's ever going to carve out a niche for himself in rap music. But as long as he keeps this level-headed attitude, that to me makes this album great, and he keeps making music like this, I do not doubt for a second that that will happen. I'm giving it a decent 9. Loving the hell out of it. Highly recommend it to anybody who's into hip-hop. If you want to try something that is outside of your comfort zone and you're not into hip-hop, my complaints about this LP are very few and far between. Maybe some of the guest singers kind of overtake the song a little bit, distract from the vocals just a smidge. And also, I'm not sure if I'm digging the mouthed choo-choo train sounds on Amtrak. You know, the beat's good, rhymes are good, but still, chugga 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 chugga. Outside of that, great personality coming from KRIT, good raps, good flow, consistency in terms of quality. Plus the features on here don't overtake the album, and the ones that are on these tracks are great. Millionaire kills it on one of the tracks, and also Big KRIT has one of his mentors, David Banner, from the southern rap group Cricket Letters, which wasn't around too long, just one album from what I believe, but still, he's on the LP too. Great job. It's just southern energy, southern attitude, southern swagger, without the southern BS. And that's why I'm liking this so much. Okay? I'm recommending it, recommending it, recommending it, recommending it. Big KRIT, Returnof4eva, forever.